Here we go. I'm a little late, but AEW World's End, that'll be done annually, is now in the books. And overall, it was an okay show. I'm not gonna, stand here and say that it was like one of the best, but there was definitely some good and definitely, some bad. But I wouldn't say it's on the level of some other pay-per-views that we've seen in the past. I think overall it was a good watch, and if you go back and see it, if you haven't watched it, I don't think you're gonna waste your time. It was a show that didn't have anything out of the norm. There wasn't any guest appearances or anything like that, but it was a good show. So overall, the devil was revealed, which is Adam Cole, and you know, leading up to this show, I think a lot of us, even myself, we knew it was going to be Adam Cole that was the devil, but I do like the way it was built up, where it was kind of sideswiping you a little bit, where you were like, well, it could be maybe Perry Saturn or some of these other guys, but no, the devil is Adam Cole. So we now know that 100%, and that was confirmed. So the storyline is now paid off. The show did suffer from a couple of the matches. I don't think that all the matches were good, even though I think there were some that were good, and we'll get into it. But for the most part, the show did suffer from a few that were not good. Now, when it comes to the match with Samoa Joe and MJF, it was actually a really good match. I have no complaints. The match itself was good. I just think the build up, it kind of left more to be desired, because we were kind of all expecting for it to be a different reveal other than Adam Cole. We were even expecting maybe for it to be a WWE guy, but no, it was Adam Cole. It was a good match, and it did make sense. We have to give it to them there, because back on Dynamite we did see that Samoa Joe basically sold his soul to the devil, so it all made sense. So Samoa Joe was able to get the win, which is fine, because I think Samoa Joe will, even though he's a heel, I think he'll do a good job in representing the title. But I think just a lot of us were expecting a different surprise. So if you were expecting a completely different reveal, then yeah, you might be a little bit disappointed, or it might have left things to be desired. But overall, it was a good match. I mean, it really was. Before that match, we had Eddie Kingston and John Moxley, and it was a good match. I mean, again, not gonna say this was anything out of the world, but it was a good match. It was it was enjoyable. I mean, I don't know what people would score it. I mean, I don't think it would get a 5 out of 5 or anything like that, but it was definitely at least over a 3. And I'm happy that Eddie got the dub. It was a good match, and I think it was well deserved. And I had no complaints with that match. And there was a lot of New Japan style in this match, which I think is what made it really enjoyable. For a minute there, I thought Eddie was going to win with like a different kind of move, because I mean, like I said, it was crazy. It had a bunch of New Japan style. There was a bunch of power bombs and other good stuff like that. So overall, I definitely recommend you to check this one out. Now, the next one, which in my opinion was the best match of the night, it was Adam Copeland, aka Edge, versus Christian, and man, they brought it. Again, I think this was the best match of the night. This match had everything. It was intense. There was tables. It was just great. Both of them worked really hard and put up a damn good show. Now, what was interesting about this one, and I kind of liked the way they went about this one. So you had Edge, who pinned Christian and got the win. He used Christian's main move, the Unprettier, and got the 1, 2, 3. Now, earlier in the show, you had seen Luchasaurus, who had sort of won, kind of, I would say, like a Money in the Bank kind of title shot, where he gets a contract and he can cash it in whenever he wants. So after Edge got the win, you see Luchasaurus come out to cash it in, and he lays Edge to the floor. So kind of giving you the expectation, oh, is Luchasaurus going to go for it? But no, what ends up happening is Christian demands that he gets the contract and gets the shot. So you have Christian then do the spear to Edge and gets the 1, 2, 3 and reclaims the TNT title back. So overall, I mean, again, I didn't really know who's gonna win this one. I think this one, it was up in the air, but I think what was if you're going into this match, I think you're just gonna look forward to the work, which again, I really think it was the best match of the night. It was one of my favorites for sure. At least from the last couple pay-per-views that I've seen from AEW. So yeah, overall, this one definitely gets a thumbs up too. Then we had Julia Hart and Abaddon's match, and I'm gonna be completely honest, I did not like this match. It didn't even feel like a pay-per-view match. The crowd wasn't into it. I didn't like the work. I just couldn't get into it. I really didn't resonate with this match at all. It was, I think, like a maybe 12, 13, 14-minute match, and it could have easily been a 6-minute match. But yeah, this match was a stinker. I really didn't like it. I think it could have been a lot better, and I actually think them having it be so long also hurt the match. So yeah, definitely thumbs down on this one. Okay, and then we saw, the star-studded tag team match, which was Jericho, Sammy Guevara, Darby Allin, and Sting, and they got the win. They got the win over the Don Callis family, Big Bill and Ricky Starks. So overall, this match kind of flew by. Honestly, I don't necessarily want to say it was a thumbs down, but nothing was very iconic for me, or nothing that stood out. Like if I'm thinking back to the match, which I saw 2 days ago. I can't really remember anything meaningful. So, I mean, overall, I think it was okay. I mean, they definitely brought out their A game. They tried to make it a good work, but I just really couldn't get into the match. Let me know in the comment section if you felt the same way. I just really couldn't get into this match. I'm also, I don't know. I feel like we're in a situation where like Sting's just not gonna lose until he retires. You know what I'm saying? So that's another thing too. Was like, I won't say the match was necessarily predictable, but I just kind of went into it thinking like, well, be curious to see if Jericho and Sting's team lose, which obviously they didn't. So yeah, I was right on that. But yeah, I mean overall, not a terrible match, but just not one that I enjoyed watching for sure. Then we had the Swerve Strickland match against Dustin Rhodes, and it was an okay match. I think it was one of those predictable matches. So what ended up happening was that before the bell rang, Swerve injured Dustin, and that was kind of the story. That going into the match, Dustin was kind of hurt, so it was kind of like your typical story where the underdog comes back up from an injury and starts giving a pushback. So that's exactly what happened. So Dustin starts giving him a pushback, but overall, you did have Swerve win, which I thought he was going to win. I mean, I feel like because I know Swerve is about to get a really big push, so it was pretty obvious that he was going to win. I still enjoyed it for what it was. Again, I mean, not going to say that it was completely predictable, but I just kind of foresaw Swerve winning since that's kind of the direction they're going. But overall, I mean, I would still give this one a thumbs up. It wasn't a bad match at all. Now, the Miro and the Andrade match, and that's a thing, like, this show didn't have necessarily all bad matches, or, I wouldn't even say it was a bad show, but they were just good matches, okay matches. And with this one, I mean, yeah, it was an okay match. Nothing crazy. Miro got like a huge win, and rightfully so. I mean, you could just tell another person that's getting a huge push. I think there's even been rumors that Andrade is thinking of going back to the WWE. I'm not too sure on that one, but I mean, overall, it was an okay match. I definitely, I wouldn't say it was terrible or anything. I mean, I enjoyed it for what it was and just kind of moved on. Now, the Tony Storm and Riho match I thought was really good. I really enjoyed that match. It was one of the earlier matches, and I really enjoyed it. I think, I mean, I think they're both doing some of the best work of their careers, so it was really good to see. There wasn't any moments where I thought, oh man, can we pick it up here? No, like it was very entertaining, and I definitely give this one a thumbs up as well because it was really, really good. And then the first match, you had the BCC, and then Mark Briscoe, Daniel Garcia versus Brody King, Jay White, Jay Lethal, and Rush. Now, this was a good match too. I had a lot of fun with it. I was surprised at how long it went. Um, 'Cause, there wasn't too much story behind it. I mean, there's some story, right, leading back, but I mean, it wasn't like crazy story building or anything like that. But it was a fun match. I mean, again, tremendous performances from everybody, and for it being, a match that started everything, it was good for what it was. But I just, again, I'm not gonna say it was anything over the top, but I mean, I had fun with it. But overall, should you see the show? Should you go out of your way to see a show? And I think you should, especially like if you're really vested in the Adam Copeland and Christian story and the Devil story, then yeah, you definitely want to check this out. It was good. It's difficult to rank only because, like I mentioned in the beginning of the video, there were several matches that were good, but that's it. They were just good. But for sure, the last three matches are the best matches of the pay-per-view, so you should definitely check those out. So I would really recommend that you do go out of your way, especially like I said, if you're invested in some of these storylines, then definitely for sure. I checked it out, and no regrets. It was a good show. Again, I'm not gonna say it was like anything, top three pay-per-views of the year or anything, but it was a good show. It was good for what it was. But let me know in the comment section, what did you think? Did you like the show? Are you gonna check it out? But yeah, let me know if you liked the video. And if you did like the video, please give me a like and subscribe. It really helps out the channel. And feel free to check out some of my other stuff. I have a lot of other content, so you might find something you like in there. But thanks. Over and out.